My name's Natasha Martina, and I'm an associate professor in the drama department, and my main focus is movement for actors for the 3rd and 4th years, and then I also teach acting as well. What gets me here every day is the fact that it's such a creative and collaborative art form, and that I have to always remind myself and tell myself that we're inspiring these young minds to think for themselves, to be authentic, and to learn how to be in the present moment.
One more time, gather and scoop. Beautiful.
So often people don't understand what movement for actors is. And they often just want to say, oh, you teach dance. And I'm often saying, no, I don't teach dance. And in order for an actor to fully take on the discipline that they're required to do, they have to have training in voice, movement, and acting. And we're all after essentially the same thing, which is to help the actor find genuine impulses and to be authentic and to actively go after a clear intention.
Crescendo, making the quality of the movement really, really, really large.
The similarities between dance and movement for stage would be that they're both after gesture posture. They're both after the idea of creating a rich inner life and in expressing it outward. And they're both after the idea of creating meaning behind, whether it's a small gesture or whether it's a large gesture. Where it differs is that dance is a much more abstract, large, enhanced form that often doesn't use text, while movement for actors is less about being large and over the top, and it's more about being naturalistic and more subtle, and utilizing that subtlety to translate the meaning behind the text. So dance is more, all the meaning they have is in the movement, but with actors, they've got the utilization of their gestures and the text itself. And so it's always interesting when people say, well, how does movement differ from voice and acting? Well, they don't. They're facilitating each other. In order for an actor to properly use his voice, he's got to be in contact or connection with his physical instrument. Without that, they're going to harm their voice, or they're not going to be able to use their voice properly. And so when you're utilizing movement for the stage, it can be in so many different facets. I mean, an actor needs to be aware of their kinesphere and how big or how large they need to utilize the space of the actual physical stage, of their actual physical presence. It also relates to character. So how do you create the building blocks of who you are, where you are, what you're doing, what your intention is? So if you're playing a character that's considerably older than yourself, how do you utilize movement and voice to create that shift? Or if you're playing a role in a restoration comedy, how you would hold yourself or carry yourself in a restoration comedy is going to be very different than you're going to be playing a character in a contemporary play.
What does that look like versus the one where we see your face?
And so I'll use various techniques in order for them to decipher what's functional movement versus what's expressive movement, and then help them build through the utilization of muscle memory so that they can evoke emotion in an authentic way.
Like this hand could have much more power than it does just floating here.